guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be diving into a very fun conversation. We're going to be talking about friendship. So if this is your first time here, go ahead and subscribe, hit the like button. We talk all things lifestyle, fun, and faith, and everything in between. So I do have my dear friend here, Jennifer. We are going to be talking about friendship, like I said, and she's been on the channel before. If you guys go all the way back to an old video like 3 years ago.
Yeah, 3 years ago.
Yeah, 3 years ago. You guys could see her first intro to the channel, but I brought her back so we can have a little chit chat. Tell us about yourself.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. My name is Jennifer. I'm a licensed clinician, and I've been friends with Daph for about, 4.5, almost 5 years?
Yeah.
Yeah?
We didn't hit 5 yet?
Girl, I don't know.
I don't know.
We're not good with numbers.
No.
We just let the flow keep going, So we've been friends for some time. Feels longer.
It does.
But that's how you know you with the right person as friends. So,
Hi, kid.
yeah.
Okay, you ready to talk today?
Yeah, let's talk.
You ready to be real?
Yeah, I'm ready to get real.
One thing about my friend, she's always real. So I'm not even hesitate. I know she's going to be honest. And this is going to be good conversation. So grab your snack, grab a quick drink, whatever you want, and just sit back because we're going to chit chat. We're going to yap.
Yeah.
Let's dive in. So, like I said, we're going to be talking about friendship. And I have some questions here.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask you. I'm also going to answer some of the questions as well, too. We're just going to have a conversation.
Perfect.
So, first question is, what is your love language in a friendship? And what makes you feel seen in a friendship?
Okay. So I would say my love language in a friendship is acts of service. I'm very big on people taking initiative. I feel like in every area of my life, like whether it be career wise, personal, like as a mother also, I'm always taking the initiative to make sure things are done. Like, like always showing up for others.
Yes.
And so it feels good when the initiative is taken for me without me having to ask. So example, when I had first given birth, I really couldn't do anything cooking wise, cleaning wise. So one of my closest friends just like dropped a care package at my door, had no idea it was coming. And another friend had a cleaning service like scheduled to clean my home.
Yeah.
And I just felt like that just showed the,
Yeah.
love
Yeah,
without saying anything,
Yeah.
And it took a lot of pressure off of my back because when things are messy in the home, my anxiety is like through the roof.
Yeah.
So that is like how I feel, like I feel loved and like I feel like it's seen, like I feel seen,
Yeah.
when someone just like takes the initiative.
Yeah. I think for me, in a friendship, I think my love language is a little bit of everything because like we have different seasons.
Right.
Some seasons I need people to physically be there and I need you to touch me. I need you to hold me and hug me. Some seasons I just need you to just remind me of who I am because sometimes the enemy will try to like, you can be doing so much and you feel like, oh, you're not worthy. Like, so words of affirmation. Be like, hey, Dad, you got this. Keep pushing. Like, sometimes I need that reminder.
Yeah.
So I feel like for me, it's a little bit of everything. And I also feel seen when people recognize when I'm not my best self.
Yeah.
And as, like, the strong friend, I feel like people always think I'm good. But I will say you're probably one of the few, if not the only friend I have that always knows when I'm off.
Yeah.
Without me saying anything, you just be like, "Are
What's
you
wrong?
good?
Yeah.
What's wrong?" And I'll be like, "No, I'm not good." So I do appreciate that, and I know it's because you really know me as a person, and you know that I like to keep a lot of things in too, because I'm trying to be everything for everybody.
Yeah.
So that's the way I feel seen without having to say anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, I appreciate that too. By the way, I never mentioned that.
You're welcome. What?
Have you dealt with a friendship
breakup? I knew that was coming.
The question is, have you dealt with a friendship breakup and any advice for someone who has?
So yes, I've dealt with a friendship breakup. It's been going on about I've dealt with it for now 2 years now. It hit me very hard because it came out of nowhere. And not to get too much into details, because like,
Right. We don't need details.
yeah, but it was just somebody that I had known for over a decade, and you know, the friendship breakup came at a time where I was dealing with postpartum, and you know, if you know, you know, life was just lifing at around that time, and to get hit with that at the same time just felt just hurtful,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Um, and so my advice for anybody going through that is to allow yourself to feel, give yourself grace, and learn to forgive.
Yeah, I think that's big. That's the biggest thing because when
Hmm.
you don't forgive, it only hurts you. Because the
Exactly.
person is going to move on and continue to be friends with other people
Right.
and live their life when you're
Hmm.
still harboring. And it doesn't mean you don't care. It's just you have to forgive yourself for you first. Because at the
Right.
end of the day, God's going to ask you, well, why haven't you forgiven this person?
That part.
I forgive you for all things you do.
So then why can't you?
Yeah.
Right?
It's
And
hard though,
but then when you're you're on that journey, that walk with Christ, you do have to, hold yourself accountable as well.
yeah.
I'd say for like that first year, I was angry. I was
Yeah.
just kind of like pushing myself away from my close friends,
Right,
because I
right.
was just like, nope, I don't need this to happen to me again.
Right,
So
right.
let me put up a shield to
Yeah.
protect myself.
Yeah.
But through working in therapy and through spiritual counsel with my pastor, like I feel like I learned eventually that forgiveness starts with me,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not for anybody else but for me.
Right.
Right? So I had to go through those stages
Yeah.
of grief,
Yeah.
and it hurt like,
And it is grief. I think a
yeah.
lot of times people don't realize when you lose a friendship, you
Mhm.
grieve
Oh, yeah.
that relationship.
It's sometimes I felt like it was worse in an intimate relationship.
Right, right,
Because
right.
these are people that you develop like strong, deep connections with, that you are your true, authentic self.
Right.
The masks are removed,
Right.
and you shared your life with that person,
Right,
and
right.
then for them to just kind of remove themselves away, it hurts.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times women, we don't like to be open and honest about how it feels, and we don't have enough conversations about like,
Yeah.
I went through those stages,
Right.
and now the place that I'm in right now, like I have a good support system,
Yeah.
and I wish her nothing but the best. And to be honest, I understand my part in why she chose to separate herself. Self-reflection is key.
Yes, that's important.
And so I understood at that point why she needed to remove herself. And I'm at this place where I'm just going to do better moving forward.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. No, I can relate. I also went through a friendship breakup at a very pivotal moment in my life when I was getting married. And long story short, I, I was friends with someone that I feel that could not handle the season that I was about to walk into, and could not handle the new life I had created in the city that I live in. And unfortunately, sometimes when people aren't satisfied or content with their situation, they don't know how to celebrate you. They don't know how to show up for you and be present. And it was extremely hurtful because I extended a lot of grace. Some would say too much grace.
Yeah.
Um, but
Yeah.
it was, it's just, that's just the type of person I am. I try to give you the benefit of the doubt, especially when I know like maybe home isn't like the best situation or whatever's going on. But then me and God had to have a conversation, and I just told God, I was like, you know what? I just don't feel comfortable with this person standing next to me on like the most important day of my life. So yeah, so long story short, I got married on Saturday. I had to call her. This was my best friend at the time. I had to call her that Wednesday, the week of the wedding, and say, hey, you know what? I'm not comfortable with you standing next to me on my wedding day. I don't feel like you've earned that throughout this journey. And, that was a tough conversation to have, but I had it when I was ready.
Right.
People were telling me, oh, you should have been took her out. Da, 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 da. Yeah, well, yeah, maybe, but I had to get to the point where I was ready to. And at the end of the day, it was my wedding. So I literally could do whatever I wanted. If somebody was going to be out the week of, somebody's out the week of. And that's what I did. So, and it was hurtful. It hurt me a lot. But then I had to mourn it, and even after the wedding, I had to mourn it. And there was nothing any of my friends, anybody else in my tribe could do to help me with that situation. I had to sit in it and like grieve it on my own.
Yeah.
And then, and God was just also a reminder, like, okay, yeah, you're gonna grieve and you're gonna feel bad about this, but like stand up, because look what's around you.
Right.
Look who supports you. Look who loves you. Look who's gonna still be here when maybe the marriage is rocky, or maybe when, you know, like things are just tough, or like whatever what life throws at you.
Right.
These people are still going to be here. So that helped me move forward and not harbor on it, because I didn't want God to also look at me as not being satisfied and thankful for what I do have, even though I did experience a loss.
Yeah.
Basically.
I have a quick question. Another tidbit on that. Do you feel like you view friendship differently after that friendship?
Oh,
breakup?
I did.
Yeah.
I did, for sure. I did. And relating to you, when you said that you kind of put a wall up, I definitely was like, oh, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It was tough. It was scary, because I'm like, I'm the type of person, I love hard. When I rock with you, I rock with you. And I will literally give you the clothes on my back. I will do anything for you. So I just felt like I was like that with this person, and that still wasn't enough. So the enemy was trying to tell me that's never going to be enough for any of your friends.
Right. Right.
And I was just like, but I will give everything to people I love. Everything. What do you mean that's not enough? What else could I give? But then God had to remind me, like, no, no, you're not gonna now view relationships and change your character just because somebody couldn't handle the season that you're in.
Yeah.
So I had to sit in that for a second, because I found myself even changing who I was as a person, as feeling like, I don't want to do too much. I'm going to be very surface level with people. Don't nobody call me
girl,
for nothing.
And then she tried to do that with me, and I was like, girl, no, we're not doing this. I was like, just because.
Did I though?
Yes. And I had to check her. And that's, I think sometimes, she's my friend that checks me through it all.
Yeah.
So, and we all need those friends. We can't have yes men all around us.
Yeah.
So I had to pull her aside, you know, and tell her, listen, I'm not such and such. I know you've been through a lot. I know you're going through it, but don't forget I'm in your corner.
Right.
And sometimes as friends, we need to do that. You know, when we start to notice the differences in our friends that we identify as family, it's okay to be confrontational, but in a loving manner, you know? And I had to be like, girl, no, I'm not her. Yeah. I'm not going anywhere. Yeah. But I see you changing. Yeah. And it's not for the positive. Yeah. You know? And I gave her the time to grieve. I gave her, because there's no length of time that you can allow someone to grieve, you know? You just have to allow them to be in that space, but also remind them that you're there if they need you. Right. You know? Right. So. Yeah. No, friendship breakups they're tough. Girl. They're tough. They are very tough. Comment below if you've dealt with one, if you have any advice for anybody. I would say just seek God, honestly, because sometimes you just need clarity and you think you need closure from that person. I didn't receive any closure. We were supposed to have a conversation. That conversation never happened, and I think it's because God was like, for what? Right. For what? So we moved on, and also I suggest, if it is one that is kind of keeping you stagnant or keeping you isolated, seek therapy, seek spiritual guidance, meaning like, you know, seek spiritual counsel, whatnot. Yeah. Don't sit in it alone. Do not sit in it alone. No, because your thoughts would start. Yeah. 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 Yeah, that's it. You know it's happening. All you can say is like, yeah. Wait, okay. Do you think it's hard making friends as an adult? Oh, yeah. Why? Yes, definitely. Why do I think it's difficult? I feel like because we've developed our character already. And when we tend to meet other people who really don't align with our character, we're quick to be like, oh, I'm good. Yeah, no. You know? Yeah. We're not in that molding stage, really. We're kind of already who we are. Right. And then we're not put in places where we're forced to be friends. Like, yeah, we're at work, but I think as we become adults, we understand, like, yeah, I'm here to make money and keep it pushing.
Right, we're not here to
Right?
be friends.
That part.
I got real friends outside of here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but then, you
yeah.
know, but then also, I feel a lot of adults nowadays are very lonely, especially after COVID. I feel like people tend to isolate way more.
Yeah.
So one thing that I've chosen to do to like meet new people, I mean, I'm pretty solid with my friend group, but I do feel like it's always best to like have other, you know, like acquaintances and things of that nature. I've just chosen to like pick up hobbies, you know, like hobbies that really enhance my knowledge. And then like, for instance, like I'm trying to do the whole public speaking Toastmasters. They're all older in there, but I'm okay with that because it's like I can seek knowledge from them. And you know, it's okay to have a 60-year-old friend, you know.
And I feel like when you're an adult, you have different friends. You might have an older friend.
Yeah.
And you might have somebody like that's younger. Just I don't know, like everybody just feeds a different part of you, and then like you're able to like get something different from somebody, because as an adult, like you said, it's different. When we were kids, we all went to the same school together, so we end up being friends.
Right.
Or we all go to the same church. We end up being friends. But then when you're in the real world and you're working and you're doing this and you got families and all that stuff, and I was like, okay, where are my friends coming from?
Right.
And like you said, since you're doing like hobbies and stuff, you're meeting different people, so like it's just gonna look different.
It is gonna look different, and I think that we should accept that. Yeah. You know, I think we're so used to, and I don't know if this is through societal views, but like having friends that look like us. Like I let go of that because I've noticed that I've met people that are white and I can get along with, you know, and it's okay. Yeah. You know, yes, we have different backgrounds, but they can teach me things that I wouldn't have learned in my own circle, and I can teach them things also. Yeah. So it's learning to accept that everybody's probably going to look different, and that's okay.
Yeah. And I think that's okay too. And I think once you get to a point when you realize that everyone doesn't have to look like you and everyone is not against you, that it's okay to have friends that look different.
Yeah, you know? Yeah.
How has motherhood changed your friendships? Or has it changed your friendships?
Yes. Short answer, yes.
Yeah.
How is because I don't have tolerance for a lot of, you know, stuff that I probably had the capacity to handle, but now that I'm constantly tired, no, I don't have the capacity to handle a lot. I just choose to limit my time with people. I like choose to be around people that make me feel good. Yeah. And make me feel happy. Like if I leave you and you make me feel exhausted, I'm probably not gonna hang out with you no more. So
that's a real thing though.
Yeah, like I wanna leave feeling good because I'm constantly on go with my daughter, with my family. Like I'm constantly on go. And if I set aside time to like hang out and it ain't nothing but you talking about people or you bringing drama to me, like you probably never gonna see me again. Yeah. Clock that. Sorry. Yeah. I just don't have time for that. Yeah, no. I'm always tired. I mean, now that she's 2, I feel much better. Like I'm getting out of that postpartum phase. Yeah. And I think a lot of people can notice that. Yeah, like my glow is coming back.
For sure, yeah.
But no, like I'm on this walk with Christ and I'm not here to talk about people no more. I'm here to like what do you bring to the table? What do I bring to the table? Like positive wise, you know, like I want to stick to, hey, what are you doing to elevate your life and things of that nature, or bring me onto a project that you're doing and things of that nature. Like I just want to be around like-minded individuals. You don't even have to have kids, but just give me grace and understanding that, hey, if you have an event tomorrow, I may not be able to show up, but if you need help prior to, I can. But because like my life looks completely different than it did 3 years ago. Where I was on the go all the time, like party wise. But it's slowed down now.
Yeah, and I think people without kids should do better with recognizing the capacity of their friends with kids.
Thank you.
And have a lot more grace, right? Because that person you knew is no more. It's not to say that that person is not still in there, but their life have completely changed, and they're completely responsible for a human being now. So their world does not revolve around you anymore.
No.
If you were hanging out every single day, talking on the phone every single day, whatever, they may not be able to do that, and that's okay. And so I think people without kids should do a better job of recognizing that.
Yeah, and you'd be surprised. A lot of them don't, but God eliminated them themselves.
Mm-hmm. Well, on that note, do you believe your friends have to be friends with your other friends?
No, absolutely
I don't
not.
think so either.
No, I think that's childish.
Yeah.
That's childish to even think that.
Yeah.
And granted, like, I used to invite it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, I know there's people that they don't want their friends to connect with their other friends for whatever reason, but I've always been the type to, like, I'll invite it. Like, hey, I'm not gonna, if I want to go to dinner at this one place and I know two of my separate friends wanted to,
Mm-hmm.
oh no, we all three gonna go.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to force the
it.
relationship.
Yeah.
I'm just very big on, like, hey, I know they're cool. Y'all might get along, y'all might not.
Mm-hmm.
But I know I want to try this food,
Mm-hmm.
and I know we all three wanted to, so let's just go.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like it's you guys are obligated to get along or obligated to be friends with each other because I'm friends with you guys.
Right.
No, I feel like that's a very childlike way of thinking.
Right.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think so. Like, if my friend ends up having a friendship with one of my friends, great.
Right.
Because now we really can all kick it. We can whatever. But if they don't, okay, that's fine too. If you guys are cordial, as long as you guys respect each other, I feel like that's fine.
Yeah.
But there is some people who feel like, well, if that's your bestie, that gotta be my bestie too, and kind of force and I'm like,
and Dad doesn't play that. I'm just kidding.
Like, huh?
No, it's just a very childlike way of thinking. I honestly think that.
Like, okay, I'm gonna give you an example. Jen has a lot of friends.
No, I do not. No, I don't.
Jen has a lot of friends. I don't have a lot of friends. I know a lot of people, but I don't have a lot of friends. Some people assume that I'm like this with her friends. No. And I kid you not, there has not been one of her friends that there was one girl, but she's no longer a friend. Mm-hmm. She's out of all of our lives.
But, yeah.
Yeah. But I kid you not, out of everyone else I met, I truly, truly like all of them. There isn't one that I don't like. So when I see them, it's, hey, what's up, whatever. Yeah. There's one, like with Steph.
Yeah.
Her and I talk on socials, on Instagram often.
Yeah.
We're, in the DMs and stuff like that. Are we besties? No. Do we hang out? No. But when I see her, it's all love. Like, I know she's somebody special to Jen. Automatically, she gets my respect just because of who she is to her.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't look at it like that. A lot of people look at their friends' friends and like, oh, why y'all so close? Yeah. Or why we don't all link up? Why you always hanging out with her?
No.
Baby, one thing about that, I don't care.
No, and
because I'm secure in our relationship.
That part. And then people tend to look on the outside in. They don't know the work that we put into this friendship, in this relationship.
Yeah. That's true.
Like, it takes time to get to this point, but not only time, but like effort.
Yeah.
I feel like with friendships nowadays, they kind of just look at it how it looks online. And
surface level,
look at it surface level. And they're like, oh, I want that. Oh, I wish we were cool like that. No, baby, this took work and time.
Yeah, and when life was life and we boohoo crying on each other's laps, that's not cute.
Yeah.
Are you going to be like that with your friend?
Right.
Or, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, people like to look at it from an overall, like you said, and think like, oh, it's just, they're cute. They put together, they go out, they cheers their little drinks, and that's it. No, baby.
It's deeper than
it's
that.
like legit doing life through death, through loss of friends, through relationship issues, through just health issues, whatever, challenges.
Yeah.
Literally in the paint doing life.
Yeah, like literally fighting with each other. Literally, like, that was trying to get me, and this is just an example on how I knew that her and her husband were going to be in our life forever. she literally knew how angry I was at God when we first became friends, like because of the loss of like my grandmother. I could just not get over that. And like I had explained it to her one time and I was just like, yeah, I'm not ready. She kept trying to say, hey, you should try coming to my church. Just give it a chance. Just give it a try. And even through that, she had her strong walk with Christ. She didn't judge me. She just was like, okay, I'm gonna give Jen time. Whenever she's ready, she'll come. And still remained my friend through it.
Yeah.
Never changed. We were still hanging out, but my walk was just not non-existent at that point. And then I was just like, no, I'm not ready.
Yeah.
And then one day, her husband just randomly was like, hey, we're doing something at church. Like, just show up. Like, surprise staff. And I was like, okay, I'll surprise my girl. Like, why not?
Man, y'all.
And no lie, ever since that day, we have been members at New Church of Faith ever since then.
Shout out to NCOS.
Yes. And it's just a testament to show that, like, God just knew who needed to be in our corner, but also he needed us to come back home.
Yeah.
And he utilized our friends to help facilitate that. And
that.
because of that, like, I know, like, they're the godparents to our daughter. That's how strong it is. Like, this bond ain't never gonna break. So, like...
And we love, like, listen, we don't... That little girl right there...
Yeah.
We love her down. And as young... Y'all, I kid y'all not. As a baby, this little girl did not play about us.
That part.
It's like she just knew.
Right.
It's like she knew, and she is like such a joy. We're so like, oh my God, I don't want to get emotional, but we love her, and she loves like you know how people be saying, oh, kids don't know.
No, she knows. She don't play. Like, literally,
Demi Marie
don't play. She doesn't talk. She's a very reserved baby when it comes to people she's not familiar with. As soon as her godmother walked through that door, she's like, I'm just listening to my baby talk her ear off, and I'm like, she does not do that.
And her goddaddy.
Oh,
please,
let's not even get started on that.
Please. Yeah,
I feel sorry for when you guys have your kids. Demi's gonna be like,
I don't know what's gonna happen. I actually don't know.
Demi's gonna be like, hold on.
Yeah,
I was here first.
Yeah, no, like, ready. So we got 2 more questions. The next one is, how do you juggle so many relationships?
Whew. How do I?
How? Enlighten us, friend.
I don't even have that many friends, though. I don't. You know what? No. Real quick before I do answer that. As I've gotten much older and wiser and more understanding to relationships, I actually put friends in categories. And that's why when I say, like, I don't have that many friends, a lot of people fall under the acquaintance aspect, the acquaintance category. Like, you may think you really know every parts about me, but you don't.
Yeah.
You only know what I allow you to know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
I think that's okay to put people in categories.
I think, but that's how I'm able to juggle it, though, because like I am always gonna be present, if I can, But the ones who hold priority are the ones who are like my close friends, like family,
right?
And not real, like, these are people that I choose as family.
Right.
Those are priority. Those are number one. Number two are my friends. Like, okay, we can go out, grab dinner. We can, get drinks here and there. But, like, you don't hold priority. And that's okay.
Yeah.
And then my third are my acquaintances. Right. Like, if I see you, it's love. There's no animosity, nothing. Like, if I see you, great. If I don't, great. Right. We'll still catch up via text, on the phone, whatever the case may be. Right. So, to be honest, because I have those categories, it's easy for me to maintain friendships. Because, again, like, I am only one person. I have family. Right. I have, a career. Right. I have my own business. Like, it takes it takes a lot out of me. Yeah. And so those people that are in my life, they give me grace. They understand that I may not always be present, but no, I still got your back. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. So Yeah. I
Yeah.
feel like it's easy to
Yeah.
really handle it.
No, I think you made a good point about putting friends in categories, and I think more people should do that
Yeah.
because you should not have the same expectation for every friend.
Yeah.
Like, I also have friends that we're good friends, but I may not consider you like my family.
Right.
And once I consider you as my family, there's a different type of expectation
Right.
that I have for you.
Right.
Because, again, I'm the type of person I'm going to do whatever, whenever, however. I expect you to do the same as well, too, right? The expectation I have for Jen is not going to be the same expectations I have for people that I'm just cool with.
Right.
Never.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's different. So that's why when you have a friend that is like family, communication is really important too, because your expectation is already up there.
Right.
So if they're unaware and you both don't know which category you guys are in, it's gonna, I don't see it, okay, I don't want to say it's not gonna last, but there's gonna be a lot of times where you guys are doing this because y'all are not on the same page. Y'all don't know the expectation. And as you build the relationship, the expectation is kind of going to be like unsaid. Right. Me and Jen never sat was like, okay, we're super close. I expect you to do A, B, C, D, 1, 3. We never did that. It was one of those things where it was already understood, like just because of our bond and our relationship and life happening and having to show up for this, like, it just happened.
It just happened.
Yeah. We didn't have to have a sit down.
Right. But I think it's also just being friends with like-minded individuals too. You know, so we are both developing our family. You know, we're both career oriented.
Yeah.
We're both like on the walk with Christ. I think it's just because like our life was slowly aligning with each other. It makes it easy to understand our expectations.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
If I'm like, no disrespect to anyone, but like if I'm trying to expect something from someone who parties 24/7 and I'm a mother, you know, at home just trying to take care of her household, but then I'm expecting the one who's always out partying 24/7 to show up for me or do certain things for me, like that's on me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because our lives aren't aligning.
Right.
And that's okay. I think it's like people tend to expect so much from others when your lives don't align with each other.
Right. Last question. Have you recognized a time you weren't being a good friend? If so, how did you correct it?
Great question.
Question.
If I'm gonna be very honest,
yes,
I feel like, so my stepdad passed away in 2022. Yeah. I feel like 2022 up until probably 2024, I was not the greatest friend. Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah. Because I had to bury the only man I knew as my father. I had found out I was pregnant.
Yeah.
I was just in this weird transitional phase with my walk with Christ. I just felt so empty at one point and just so lost at one point that I didn't have the capacity to be a great friend. So I would say within those 2.5 years, I was not the best friend. No. And it took me being in therapy to recognize that I wasn't being a great friend. Because it is hard to self-reflect sometimes when you're in the midst of chaos. It's hard to self-reflect and to take your ego out of the equation and realize when you're just not being your best self. So thank you for giving me grace, because I wasn't the best friend to you, to my other friends, like I wasn't. So I thank you for giving me grace and giving me the opportunity to do better, you know, because like I just didn't have the capacity. Yeah. You didn't drop me like a bad habit. You may have felt hurt by my lack of presence, but you just never dropped me. You just allowed me grace. You allowed me time to heal. Because as we said at the beginning, grief doesn't have a timeline. Right. You know, and I was really in the deepest darkest depression that I
Yeah.
can ever like imagine or describe.
Yeah.
And so how I learned to correct it again was by going to therapy, but also just like slowly changing my actions.
Mhm.
But I wanted it to be intentional, but and then like authentic. Like I wasn't just showing up because no, I just got to show that I'm a great friend, but like I actually wanted to be present.
Mm.
You know, like
Yeah.
present, like emotionally, mentally, and like actually wanted to be happy
Yeah.
and being present too.
Yeah.
So like, you know, still coming to doing our ritual, coming to Easter dinner,
Mhm.
you know, doing coming
You
to
came to my birthday.
came to her birthday, and yeah,
Yeah.
you know, it was hard,
That
but
was, and it was like fresh. I
it was
feel like,
fresh,
yeah.
yeah, but I was still showing up because I think isolation is it just yeah isn't good.
Yeah.
Isolation can just like really push people away, and I just was like, no, I'm gonna show up even if I may not feel my best.
Yeah.
Fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
Eventually I started like, okay, all right, I'm starting to feel
Mhm.
better. I'm starting to
Mhm.
feel like myself, and then also being honest
Yeah.
about where I was.
Yeah.
You know, I would had to be honest with them and be like, I'm struggling right now.
Mhm.
Like mentally, I'm not in a good space.
Mhm.
So I had that conversation with a few of my closest friends, and I was just like, yeah, I need you right now.
Right.
Like I'm not okay.
Right.
So taking the mask off and being honest about where I was
Mhm.
emotionally, self-reflecting, and just changing my actions is
Yeah.
how I turned it around.
Yeah. I remember that time. See, that's why you gotta have godly friends. And I say that I'm not perfect by no means, not even close. But I say that because naturally you just extend grace because
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah.
like, who am I to not give somebody grace when I know they're going through it? I know they can't be this person at whatever time.
Right.
And when you understand grace in itself, is so much easier to extend it to people
Mhm.
because you know that is such a valuable thing and you yourself need it every single day.
Right.
And I think in that season, it was tough. It was tough. You went through a lot,
Mhm.
and my only, like, for me, I just felt like, dang, what can I do? What, like, so for me, I'm like, I have to pray
Mhm.
because when you're in a dark space, that's when the enemy wants to play with your mind.
Ooh,
so
talk
it's the
about it.
constant reminder of like, Jen, you are a child of God. Whatever this is, you're coming out. You know, and even if like just it was just ooh. I feel like you just reminded me how
Yeah,
heavy that
it was
season
a
was.
lot. It was
Yeah.
a lot, and I feel like our household was under attack. You
Mhm.
know,
Mhm.
and just like she said, having godly friends just praying around you, praying even when you don't even know,
Yeah.
just keeping your name lifted in prayers is how we got out of it because
Yeah.
our house was under attack.
And there was a time when I went over there. You probably don't remember, and I don't know. I just felt something in my spirit, and I was like, I need to pray in here. I was in Demi's room,
Mm-hmm.
and I just felt. I was like, can I pray real quick? I just, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't need to know because once you feel it, once the Holy Spirit tells you, hey, you need to do this, you just do it.
Yeah.
And I was just praying in her room, and it was just, oof, it was a heavy time.
Yeah.
But we're thankful you guys made it through. You pushed through. And there's still things you guys are going to be dealing with, because like you said, like grieving and postpartum stuff, those things don't have a time limit.
Right.
But I think for anybody out there, if you have a friend that's going through difficult seasons, don't give up on them.
Please
They
don't.
they need you the most in that season. And if you don't know what to do and how to be whatever they need because they can't communicate to you, ask God. Like, what do they need? Because your friend might not even know what they need.
Yeah, keeping them in prayer is the best solution.
Yeah.
Keeping them in prayer and showing up.
Yeah.
You know, like you may not even know what to pray for, but just ask God to protect them.
Yeah.
To remove any negativity surrounding them and just like love on them, you know? I hear too often people letting go of friendships because the season of like turmoil that they're in. I just feel like that just reveals who you are, honestly, your character. Like if you can't walk through the paint with that friend of yours, were y'all really friends? You know, like your
Listen.
relationships get attacked all the time.
Yeah.
You know, it happens all the time, and like,
and life itself is so heavy
mm-hmm.
that like God does not call us to do this thing by ourselves first and
Right.
foremost.
Right.
So you have to lean on people, and if you feel like, you know what, I don't have friends, I don't have people to lean on, you need to do something different.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's no reason for you not to have friends. Either
Right.
you're not friendly, either you don't put yourself out there. Bishop says all the time, if you want friends, you need to sow a friendly seed. Be
Right.
kind to somebody. Have a conversation with someone. Converse with like just be approachable.
Right.
There's a reason why you don't have friends. You could be the reason.
And self-reflection is key.
And self-reflection is
because you
key.
could really be that person.
You could be the reason
you know?
why you don't have friends. So sometimes you need to just sit and ask God, you know what? I desire amazing friends. I want sisterhood. I want a brotherhood. What do I need to change within me so that I can attract those people? Because there's amazing people that God wants to bring to your life, but if you're not in a position to receive those people, He's not going to bring them to you so that you can hurt them.
Right.
You got to do the work first.
Yes.
And that's not to say when you get those friends, you're going to be the perfect friend. We're never going to be the perfect friend.
And you might go through trial and error, and that's normal.
Yeah.
Trial and error is normal.
Yeah.
Don't just, sow that seed, and it may not work, and you're like, see, this is why. No.
Yeah.
No. It's trial and error.
Yeah.
And I just feel like putting yourself out there is key. Like, you can't make friends just by sitting at home watching TV.
Yeah, we met on Instagram.
Yeah, we did meet on Instagram.
We met on the internet.
Yes.
And our first meetup, we were at Bahama Breeze. And we sat there and talked. I think we were there for 3 to 4 hours.
Yes.
Talked, cried, laughed, cried again, talked.
We were vulnerable. We allowed our masks to be removed.
We didn't know each other from a hole in the wall.
No.
But when it's ordained, when God is like, you're going to meet this person and you're going to do life with this person. It's not going to always look like what you think. When we tell people, they're like, what?
Yeah. I know.
What?
Even my mom was like, y'all met on Instagram? I'm like, yeah.
Are you sure you didn't know her before? Did you go? I'm not even from here.
Right.
No, we did not go to school together.
Right.
We did not go to school together. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We were super transparent.
Yes.
As you can see, we could talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. Please let me know what you think about the video. Please let me know what you think about the friendship of topic and answer some of the questions that we have below. I want to hear your feedback. Share this with a friend. If this could be encouragement to somebody who's desiring great friendships, send this to someone. Because we did talk about some of the things that you can do to obtain great friends and how to sustain them. So, Jen, thank you. Love you.
Love you more.
So much. I will see you guys in the next video. We're going to have Jen back again, but I want her to come back. We're going to talk about something else.
What? Tell me.
Anyways.
What is it? Bye. What is it?
You don't got to know.
Tell me now.
How has motherhood changed your... Zoe, please. Okay, let me see. Okay, do you think it's...
Go.
You told me to wait. I told as mother.
Did my lips start shivering?
That's how you was at the wedding. We was talking that.
Yes. I was like, it's your fault.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
A beady beady bum bum.
All right.
Okay, come on.
Last question. Sure, okay. I'll do my clothes.
Yeah, put that on there. Come on.
Go ahead. Oh, God.
Ask the question again. Hey,
Zoe,
Gabby.
please.